Okay, so I've gessoed them using a tinted gesso. I've applied the first layer of color using my molding paste and Joe's Prime Light Fast acrylics. And now I'm going to put another layer with the molding paste and the paint on top of here to keep building the color and the texture. Now here's where my preferences for color really shine through. I will go over, typically I go over reds with greens or turquoises, and I'll go over these greens with reds. So you'll see how my color choices start to come in. So let's get going with some molding paste and some deep turquoise, which I will probably add white to in a little bit. See how fast that runs? I don't like runny paint. I like runny paint when I put the molding paste in there. So that's why I'm so grateful to the molding paste, because it allows me to use all these fun colors. So nothing is off limits really, thanks to the molding paste. I will sing the praises of the molding paste, I think, forever, because it makes the paint thick and fun to use. Okay, so I have this beautiful dark turquoise here. I'm going to put it over the red. And as I put it on, you see how the red just really pops behind it. And I don't know about you, but it's what makes me feel alive is when I see these colors playing together. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of white to it. And I look around, I see what other paintings might need some of this. I think we'll do this. And then maybe put a red on top of that. So it's all about letting these colors be together and play together. I see that painting, this one over here, this definitely needs some of this turquoise on top. We'll put it on top of the light red. And again, I don't get worried that a painting is going through a stage that I don't find all that attractive, because we can always make changes later on. The paint dries so fast. There's no need to cry over a painting that's not going well. Just spend a little more time with it. Oh, look at that over the orange. That looks good. And then you see that patch? I'm just painting right over it. And then I decide what to do with the patch towards the end. I decide what purpose I want to use that patch for. All right. As I look at the paintings now, my mind wonders what colors come next. I see purples. I'm seeing some yellows and oranges, so I want to get a nice blue going. But I have this paint still left to use, so the sides always like getting painted. The sides are more than happy to take extra paint. And they don't even care what color you put on them. Let's use this one on here. All right, let's get a nice blue going. I'm going to use the palette paper for this, since I don't have any lids ready. I like this right away when I saw this color. I just love it. It already has, it looks like titanium white and maybe a phthalo blue mixed in. I'm going to put that down. See how the consistency, this is actually a little more thick than the turquoise was, but I still want it to be thicker. So I go in there and get some more molding paste and start mixing it up. And then this beautiful color becomes nice and thick, the way I like it. All right, so complementary colors. Watch out, here comes blue. Let's put it, this is an orangish yellow. I think I'm going to try it there. And then I'll use it over the dark yellows over here too. And while I paint, I'm constantly looking at these colors. How are they working together? What do I want to see coming through? So I'm looking at that orange, wondering maybe I just add a little bit of white to this color and put a lighter blue on top of that orange. What do I want to do with that yellow in there? There's all these decisions, and the more I paint, the more I know I become, I trust my decisions more. That only comes from spending time in the studio. And the way the artists that are always my favorite are ones where you can see that they've made predictable choices while at the same time experimenting, but they have their own sort of foundation of the way they put color on a canvas or what objects they use. They develop a language. And that just comes from time in the studio. There's no way around it. If you want to get good at painting, there's no way around putting in the time. Why is it that I'm 40 years old and I'm just learning that lesson? So, you know, I talk to other artists a lot about color and color choices, and I don't know if I actually read this book, but it was by Goethe, who is a German philosopher. He wrote a book on color theory and said that, you know, when you look at a painting, if there's a blue somewhere else in that painting, your eye is going to look for its complement, so an orange. So I've always had that in my in the back of my head when I'm painting, because I want to give my people who look at my art, I want to give them everything that they're looking for, even if it's not consciously. So you'll never see a painting of mine that has red without a green somewhere else, or a yellow without a purple. Look, even though it's just a little bit, it still gives your eye that, okay, I can, you know, it gives you what you need. So those are some rules of mine. Do I break those rules? You know, like I said earlier, I try to break one rule a day, one of my own rules a day. But that's one I tend to stick to, because I know what it's like when you look at a painting and the painting gives you everything you need. That's part of what's at play there, is the relationships between the colors and your brain's and eyes' need for satisfaction in seeing complementary colors together. And just, you know, nature gives us so much beauty, or I can find so much beauty and inspiration in nature. And I love seeing those complementary colors in nature. Like a beautiful sunset has purples and yellows, and you know, we may not know why something is so beautiful to us, but it's probably because there are complementary colors going on. All right, so I feel like I want to put a violet or a periwinkle over that, and then some reds and oranges over here. So I have some light blue to use up. Put that on the sides. Do I ever let wet paint go to waste? Not very often. Even when dinner is being served, I'll say, wait, I've got wet paint. And my family knows what that means. It means Moni needs to finish using up the color that's on her palette. And since I don't really work with big batches of color, it doesn't take me too long to finish using up wet paint. All right. Very good. So let's get a periwinkle going for that, and reds and oranges going for these. I like this Liquitex pigment here, this light blue violet. It's a soft body paint. They also make a heavy body paint. But this has been in my studio for years because I don't like soft body. But that's why I'm so happy to find the modeling paste, because now I can thicken this up and use this. I think I ordered this soft body on accident, or who knows how it got in my studio. But I haven't been using it. Today's the day because I can thicken it up. Some people love soft body because it drips easier. You know, you can add water to it and it drips and you get that drippy effect, which is very fun. But for these paintings I'm doing, I really want, it's about layering it. Let's make this thick. Look at all that I added. The color doesn't go away at all. That's just remarkable to me. I love it. Technology. Scientific advancement. All right, but I want it to be a little bit lighter, so I'm going to add white to it. If my art teachers saw me now, they would be horrified at the way I just dip a paintbrush with color into another color. Don't tell. All right, I wanted the periwinkle for this yellow. So that's our little rock in there, and see the water moving around it? Let's say this is downstream this way, so this creates a nice eddy back there to rest in. I don't have any other yellows right now to put this on. I wonder if there's a... You know how I hate seeing paint go. So I'm just going to use this paint on here. There are no rules. I do always have wood laying around. And sometimes this is where my best paintings come from, or the ones that weren't really planned, like this one. I should call those something. My leftover paint paintings. Look at those two great colors on that palette paper. If I were really brave, I would tear that off and frame it. What do you think? Maybe that's what I missed by not painting on a palette paper, because I paint on those usually. Anyway, all right. I've got second layers of paint built onto this one here especially. Let's see. I'm going to let them dry and go back. I guess we'll call this step 4, where I sand it, and that's where the magic starts to happen.